Hey folks, this is the third video in my series on automating Google Slides presentations using Google Apps Script. This video is an optional portion of the code that is not necessary but is highly recommended. What we'll be learning how to do today is delete a previously created slides presentation so that we can create a new one. Now, the reason that I do that is because when I'm developing a slide deck, I might not totally know what I would like to do. And what'll happen is I'll create a deck to see if what I've scripted looks the way that I want it to. And if it doesn't, then I'll delete it and then I'll make an adjustment and then create a new one. And that can result in lots of decks piling up in your Google Drive. And it just takes up a ton of space and it's really difficult to see where you're at. So I'm going to teach you how to create a logic system that will delete the previously created deck so that you have a nice clean directory to work in. So to recap where we're at, we are building out a function called creator deck, which will create a new Google Slides presentation with a name, in this case, NFCE Slides. We will collect the deck ID and we will remove the template slide. We learned how to use the deck ID in order to move the file into a new folder where we can store all of our slide presentations. So we are going to pick up from accessing the variable called folder drive, which is referencing our folder parent ID, and we are going to loop through the folder and delete any files that exist in there. So it's very important that this folder is for the sole purpose of storing your Google Slides presentations. So with that out of the way, we are going to go to line 17. We're going to hit enter twice. We're going to hit the left arrow twice, and we are going to add a comment. We're going to use all caps, and we're going to call this development deal. And we're going to have colon, and we are going to say delete decks that are created while figuring things out. We're going to hit enter and we're going to hit tab. We're going to declare a variable called files, and we're going to set that equal to folder drive, which is the variable on line 17 that is accessing our folder by its ID. We're going to use dot, and we are going to say get files. We're going to add an open parenthesis. We're going to go to the right, and we're going to add a semicolon. We're going to hit enter twice. We are not going to go to the left because I want all of this code to be indented so that if we want to and when we want to remove it, we understand what the totality of the block is. So we're going to add 2 slashes for a comment, and we are going to say loop through the files. We're going to hit enter, we're going to hit tab, and we're going to use a while loop. We're going to have an open parentheses, and we're going to reference that files variable that we just created, and we're going to use a dot. And we're going to say has capital N next. We're going to have an empty parentheses. We're going to go to the right of our while loop, and we're going to hit space and add in a set of curly brackets. We're going to hit enter. We're going to add a comment, and we are going to extract the file. We're going to hit enter once, and we're going to hit tab, and we're going to declare a variable called file, and we're going to set that equal to files.next. And we're going to have an empty parentheses. We're going to go to the right of it, and we are going to add a semicolon. We're going to hit enter once, we're going to hit enter twice, we're going to hit the left arrow twice, and we are going to add a comment that says identify the file ID to be deleted. So we're going to hit enter, we're going to hit tab, and we're going to declare a variable that we will call content. We're going to set that equal to file.get capital ID. So the D is lowercase, the I is capital. This is case sensitive, so make sure that you have it in that fashion. We're going to go to the right of our parentheses. We're going to add a semicolon. We're going to hit enter twice, left arrow twice. I am going to scroll down so that we have more room at the bottom of our screen. So if there's anything you want to look at, pause the video now and then hit resume once you're ready to move on. We're going to add a comment that says delete the previously created deck. We're going to hit enter, we're going to hit tab, and we are going to say driveapp.getFile by ID. We're going to have an open parentheses where we are going to pass that content variable that we just created. We're going to go to the right of our parentheses, and we are going to use a dot set capital T trashed, and we're going to open up a parentheses. Set trashed is a Boolean function, which means it will either have an argument of true or false. You'll notice from the documentation that true or false appears as all lowercase characters. So because we want to delete the content variable, we're going to pass all lowercase true. And you'll notice that it lights up blue, which is an indication that we have passed the correct syntax to the function. We're going to add a semicolon. We're going to hit enter. We are going to add a logger statement so that we have a nice little message to ourselves. So we're going to do logger.log. We're going to add single quote. We're going to do 3 asterisks separated by a space. We're going to add another space, and then we're going to say, if you see this, then the old deck was deleted. We're going to go to the right. We're going to add a semicolon. We're going to hit save. Now, because we've already given DriveApp permissions to see, read, create, update our files in Google Drive, we will not have to allow permissions. So what's going to happen is this folder, you can see, has a deck that was last modified at 12:58 p.m. We're going to go back to our app script. We are going to hit run. We are getting feedback that our deck is being created. We are getting feedback that if you see this, then the old deck was deleted. And then the script compiles without error. We go back to our decks folder, and you can see that we no longer have any decks in there. This might happen. If this is the case, reload the page. And now you see we have a new Google Slide presentation that was created at 1:15 p.m. I hope you found this helpful. Again, this is an optional portion of the code. I find it to be extremely helpful because there were times that my workflow was try something, have it not work, try it again, have a bunch of decks in one folder or on my main Google Drive page, and then I would have to manually delete things. And I found it to just be like very frustrating to not have success in what I was writing, and then also to have an added step of having to delete it. So I found this to be very helpful, and I hope the same is true for you. In our next video, we are going to wrap up our deck creator function, and then we'll be using it with a slide creator function so that we can start developing slides within our automated deck. Again, if you'd like to catch up on any of the previous videos or be aware of future videos, check out the playlist in the description. Feel free to hit me up if you have any comments or feedback, and I hope you'll check out the next video.